Hello.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible?
Welcome everyone to another episode. Yes, you're audible. Okay. Welcome everyone to another episode of Rakshin Diaries. And today we have someone special from Theophilus Training College to share their experience with us. We have Lida. So Lida, can you just introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I am Lida Johnson. I am a B.Ed scholar at Theophilus Training College, Nalanjara. I am from Pala. Now I've been here for 1 year at Trivandrum. So that's all about me.
Okay. So Lida, we had the session taken in your college. For that session, were
Yes.
you actually aware of the POCSO Act and its legislations?
Actually, ma'am, I've been aware of the POX Act, but I had not been very much aware of the minute details and the implications of it. How much
Okay.
impact it has on children, and how important it is to be aware as a future educator. So the session
Okay.
was very informative for me in that way.
Okay. So can you just add on some new insights that you got during the session?
I got to know that no, it's not only about the physical act of sexual violence that is punishable or, uh, or
Okay.
or an act of offense. The
Okay.
acts like the digital pornography and verbal
Yes.
abuses, all of these comes under the POXO Act. That was a new information for me. Also, it's through this class that I came to know about the new amendment that came to this POXO Act recently. How great a
Okay.
crime it has been now.
Okay. Okay. And I know that you are aware of the child helpline number, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
1098.
So yes, we have the helpline number to report cases. So what do you think are the major challenges towards reporting?
Ma'am, from the side of children, from the side of children under 18 years of age, I think it's about their naivety. Most of them doesn't know about whether the act they are committed to is a crime. That's about an act
Okay.
from the children. Speaking about teachers or about elders, some of the
Yes.
people have a stigma associated with reporting
Okay.
such cases. So I think it's
Okay.
very important, and it's actually very useful that certain classes, these classes like awareness classes are conducted by associations like this, because we have to remove this stigma and all those isolated thoughts about this POXO Act.
Okay. Okay. And why do you think that we chose the youth to spread this information? So
Because
we could
we
have
always
just, trained the young children, but we are focusing on the youth. Why do you think so?
Ma'am, I think because we usually say it for the namesake that the young minds are or the youth are the future nation builders. We often say that.
Okay.
That's not just for
Yes.
namesake. It's true because it's only through us that the next generation can be very much aware of the POXO Act and not only about POXO Act, but all the rights and the problems they face and all. Because and especially speaking about B.Ed students, they are the future educators. They have to deal with children in a day-to-day basis as part of their profession. So when young minds are educated about these aspects, they can teach children about what's a good touch, what's a bad touch, and how to report about such offenses, or how to open up, and how can they deal with such issues and all. So it's very much important that the young minds, the people who have to deal with the children of next generation, are taught very much about this issue.
Okay. Okay. And as a future teacher, at some point of your career, if you were to meet a child who just opens up about, their child abuse or any sort of such, bad impact, what measure will you be taking initially?
First of all, I would be an active listener to their issue, and would listen without judgment. so they can open up to me without any inhibition and all. The next thing that I would do is report to the highest authority of the school or the college that I would be working. Then
Okay.
I would take care that I would follow up whether the issue is reported to the higher authorities and that justice is met to the children.
Okay, okay, that's great. And another question is that, like, we already discussed about the challenges towards reporting, right? So, what do you think are the challenges towards protecting these children
So
from sexual
sadly,
abuse?
um, the speaking about protecting these children, the major issue is that the people can spread certain news about children who go under such abuse, so they might
Okay,
not be opening up about this. So and there's an
okay,
issue of identity because in this recent age of the social media and all, the identity
okay,
can be revealed very easily. So they it can
yes,
affect their privacy and all. So
okay,
that's an issue about protection, and not only that, children, even though there are safe houses provided by the government and all for children who go under such abuse, especially at home, there need to be some more initiatives to incorporate new things to protect them because
okay,
often the small children are abused. They might be
yes,
naive, they might not be knowing that they are undergoing abuse.
okay. And another question to you is that, like, have you taken any strain or time to just share this information with any of your siblings or maybe your colleagues?
Pardon, ma'am, can you repeat it once more?
Yes, yes. Have you taken this strain to share this information that you got from the session to any of your siblings or your colleagues or any of your
Yeah.
friends?
Yeah, of course. The first thing that I did that evening was when I called home. I told that my hometown is in Pala. I told my parents about these issues. My parents are
Okay,
teachers, and I told them how a class was conducted about this issue and
okay,
what measures can teachers take in this
okay,
matter. Then certain of my some friends of mine had been absent that day, and that evening I told them too about the matters discussed during that class.
okay. That's great. And have you experienced any changes so far in their attitudes or anything?
Um, the issues that some of my friends had already been aware of these issues, and some of them had attended certain classes. And personally, I
Okay,
think the major change I can make is when I get into the teaching practice, which comes in the second year,
oh, yes.
and also when I get into the job, most probably by next year.
Okay. And during the session, we also discussed that around 90% of the sexual abusers are people who are known to the child. So, what was the first thing that struck your mind when you got the revelation of such a very, very disheartening fact?
Actually, it was pain and very a kind of disturbance and difficulty that came to my mind because the
Okay.
people who are meant to protect children are abusing these children, and especially the fact that disturbs me the most is that these children are not, most of the children are not aware that they are being abused. That's the
Okay.
thing that first came into my mind. So it's a great thing that such associations and meetings and events, classes are conducted on this behalf.
Okay. And like, how do you think that we can make one's home a safe place, especially for children?
The first thing to do is that children has to know about the things, what's a bad touch, what's a good touch and all. So when
Yes.
they feel that they are abused, they should have someone to open up. Either it
Okay.
be their mother or their father, or if the father is abuser, they should have an open space with their mother or siblings. And personally, I think a teacher can be
Okay.
the most important person in that aspect because often
Okay.
children might be very very much uncomfortable about speaking about their parents, either of their parents to
Okay.
the another one. So
Okay.
so making a home peaceful space emerges from their own knowledge, their own understanding of what's abuse and what's not.
Okay. So, being a part of this Rakshin project, how do you think that you can contribute to the society to protect children from sexual abuse and safeguard them?
I think my part would be from being as a teacher, because as I've already told, from next year I would be dealing with children on a daily basis, so I could get to know more about them. So the first thing that I would do is I would be an open-minded person and would listen to their problems without judgment,
Okay.
and I would do my best to teach them about what's abuse and what's not, and how to speak, act properly and all. So
Okay.
that would be my main concern, and that would be my great service as Rakshin volunteer.
Okay. So thank you so much, Rida, for sharing your experience with us, and I hope that you would make a good teacher in future. And that's all for today. Thank you for being a part of Rakshin Diaries. Until we meet again, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving
Thank
this
you.
opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.